Right,
look at
Don.
this.
Right, yeah.
Christmas
Look
has
at
come
this
early.
is just for me. Exactly. You know, I was tweeting out that, you know, people talk about the luck of the Irish. I'm not Irish, but I'm certainly lucky to be hanging out at Legacy Liquor Store. We're going to talk Irish whiskey next. What's the difference between Irish whiskey and Scotch whiskey? And it's not just the region. Stay with us. You're watching BT. I know it's like I need an excuse to have some cocktails on breakfast television, right? I mean, today is the day that many people will be imbibing a little bit, although we want to point out that it's not all about the booze for the Irish.
No.
But Irish whiskey is a big one.
Absolutely. Irish whiskey is on fire. It wasn't always that way. In the past, there were over 400 distilleries in Ireland. By 1975, there were 2. Irish whiskey was always kind of thought of as the smaller cousin to the Scotch whiskey.
And what is the biggest difference between Scotch whiskey and Irish whiskey?
There's a couple of big differences. The first one is the amount of times you distill your spirit. In Scotland, you tend to distill twice. In Ireland, they distill 3 times. The more you distill, the smoother the product tends to get.
So this should be quite smooth.
Oh, yeah.
We've got some great options here, some well-known brands.
Absolutely. So what we have here are a couple of the John Jameson line. I've got the entry level, which is just a fantastic bottle of whiskey, especially under $40. Cheers.
Is that supposed to cheers? I mean, I just feel like we have
why
glasses.
not?
Okay.
It's the time.
So we're smelling for what?
Well, what you're always looking for is that nice richness, that creaminess, the vanilla. Irish whiskey tends to be aged in bourbon casks. Jameson are all done in wild turkey barrels, so you're going to get some of those bourbony notes as well.
Now, I notice there really is only one that's got an aged number on here. Why that? Why is that?
For a couple of reasons. First off, the age statement is always the oldest whiskey in the blend. So the longer you have to age the whiskey, the more expensive that whiskey is going to be. The other thing is, because Ireland is so much further south than Scotland, their evaporation rates are faster. So their whiskey matures faster. In our market, we've been trained that the higher the number, the better.
Right.
Not always true, but that's just what we believe. And so what we're seeing is people moving away from age statements because they can make a finished whiskey in 7 to 10 years.
And there are also some great artisan versions, right?
Yeah. So the artisanal whiskey industry is starting to grow in Ireland. The Tyrconnell in the middle, it was actually a very famous brand, especially in the 20s and 30s. Eventually went out of business. That's Cooley Distillery. They reopened in the mid-1990s, and now there's about 4 or 5 distilleries in Ireland now.
Wonderful. Well, the one thing they do is they know their spirits here at Legacy Liquor. Also, really specializing, Riaz, in some of the artisanal type of alcohol, whether it's beer or certainly Irish whiskey. For more details on Legacy, you can of course go to their website.